It's June 14th. Getting ready to glass the boat. This will be our first day of fiberglassing. Rollers are ready. First layer will be clear coat, which is penetrating. We'll probably put 2 coats on that. First coat will soak into the wood pretty good. Then we'll put on another coat when it starts tacking up, and that'll give us a good base for laying down our glass with our laminating resin. And we're doing the second coat now. We have these roller extensions so we can both work one on each side. First coat penetrated almost dry, just soaked right into that plywood. Now this second coat of the penetrating resin, fill in the grain, it'll make a good base. Well, we roll out 2 coats on the bottom, and the sides we rolled out 3 on the side and the transom, the vertical surfaces, because it tends to run off before it penetrates. And we got a good coat of penetrating epoxy on that hull. Used a little over 2 gallons. That took us almost 2 hours. Now we're ready to laminate. Now our corners are done. Got a layer of tape on all the corners. The transom's all glassed. That bi-axial cloth lays down really nice, really good on the corners, and it just did a really good job. Well, tomorrow we're set to do the bottom and the sides. It's now Sunday, June 15th, and we're getting ready to glass the bottom down. Got the cloth all laid out. We're going to climb up there and roll it out. We got the bottom layer on. Got it overlapped on the bow. Well, fiberglassing's done. On the bottom, both sides. Now, tomorrow we'll roll on a couple filler coats of resin to fill the weave in the cloth, and then she'll be ready for sanding, fairing, putting the bottom runners and the chine guards on, and then we can paint the hull and turn it over. I'm joining the 2 pieces to make the outer keel. I'm sanding the bottom, getting ready to install the outer keel and the bilge runners. I've got the outer keel in place now. I centered it down the hull and run my drill through in all the bolt holes. Every other space between the frame has a bolt, except for right up in front. I put one in each frame space. Then I drilled for the screws that go between the bolts using 3-inch number 14s. The bolts are 5/16 by 4-inch. So this is in place, centered on the hull. Well, I've got the bilge runners positioned. Got my bucket of lead holding the end of that one down. I'm centered between my reference marks. Now I'm going to drill from the inside up through at that where I want the through bolt to go. Probably the first one and the second one for now, until I can get a bolt through here to hold this thing in position while I drill for the rest of the bolts. Bottom runners are temporarily bolted in place. Well, we picked up our flatbed trailer yesterday, June 24th. 24-foot long, the hydraulic tilt. Got the extra heavy frame. It's rated for 10,000 pounds total weight. We've got the dual 5,200 pound torsion axles. Brakes on all four wheels. Thought I'd carry the boat pretty good. Got a class 4 trailer hitch on my truck now. Capable of pulling a 10,000 pound load. I modified these runners before I put them down, as this is the roller I'm going to use. It's the widest spool roller I could get. It's 8-inch, but the distance between the little outer edges of it just barely fit a 2x6 without any extra room. I want a little more room than that, so I wanted to cut this down about a 1/2 inch on a side. So what I did was I run the runners through the table saw and cut them on like a 22-degree angle here, so make them fit on those rollers a little nicer. Let's make them fit much nicer. There'll be a little more clearance there, so it isn't too tight. I've got them glued down and through bolted, and then we run the screws in. And now I'm doing the fillets along the edges because we're going to glass over them with some of that bi-axial tape. I've got the runners glassed over with 2 layers of the 8-inch bi-axial tape. And now I have these pieces of cloth that I had left over, about 8 feet long, and so I'm going to glass them in on the bow here to give a little extra reinforcement to the bottom up at the bow, because that's where she'll pound and hit the beach running the ground. So I'm just going to add this glass up there to strengthen that up. So this forward section of the chine guards are fastened in place now. Well, it's now August 4th. The chine guards are all glassed on. The last resin coats are on. 22 gallons of resin at this point.